Morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Hi, Miss Kathy. How are you?
Morning.
Hey, how was everybody's 4th of July? Everybody have a good 4th? Yeah, we had a great 4th. We went to Colorado and just to be honest, I didn't want to come back.
I know.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, let's celebrate 3 wins this morning. Someone give me a win from any time in the last time since we gathered. I think it's been 2 weeks since we gathered. Somebody give me a win. Let's get 3 to get the morning started. Everybody got something?
Yeah, I got a new listing.
Okay.
It's a steaky listing.
Stinky. Tell me what.
Yeah.
Define
Yeah, then it
stinky.
smells or.
Define stinky.
Yeah.
Smells.
So it's incredible land,
Okay.
like 10 acres, 2 miles from downtown Stanton.
Oh my gosh.
And, the land is incredible. The house is incredible. It's just got a sneaky tap room. That they had Bio one come in last week. And they got a compressor. So, but I got a new list.
It's a new listing.
It's not active yet. A lot of work.
Okay.
Let's talk after the meeting, because I have a solution.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. Solutions. All right. Who else has another win? Who else has another win to celebrate?
Sally.
Tweety, what you got?
My husband and I bought our first investment.
Yeah. Where is it? What is
We
it?
kind of saw,
Okay.
our son goes there, we figured, why are we paying rent? Because it was astronomical. We're like,
Yeah.
this is silly. So we went ahead and bought a house and.
Love it.
That's amazing. Tweety. Congratulations.
I got a new win.
Bill,
I
what
got a
you
win.
got?
So thank you to both of you for referring your account. Because I called, they said that he's not taking any new clients. I said, oh, well, I gotta tell you who I know. So she said on the phone, no, he's not taking any, well, I'll talk to him, I'll pay that. And then he called me.
Oh, that's.
Awesome, that's me. So I have a new account, hallelujah, amen.
Amen.
He's great. I think I'm his most annoying client, but he's great. Well, I'm glad he took,
Thank you. for
yeah, that's awesome. And then Sally had one.
Hey, Sally, what you got?
Well, really for my partner, who's not able to be here, but while I was traveling in 7 hours time difference, our son found a house. She negotiated a great contract, got it under contract, got negotiated inspection, and I didn't get home till after all that. So I had to do very little, and it's a great house and we close Thursday.
That's awesome.
That's very good. So you can travel in this business. Okay.
Found it?
Yeah, that's great.
Well-
Fabiola, you got something?
Yeah, so we're under contract for my listings and then for full asking price after 3 weeks. So I thought that was amazing.
Yeah,
And
that's great.
then, we're through due diligence, which I call them an extra special client. They're just extra special with cherry on top, so we're through due diligence with that. So I thank Tom and, Swan for helping me with some open houses.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Way to go. People.
She was calling me when she was traveling. She had 5 clients.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So
Yeah.
you
But
can
I'm
travel.
grateful. Yes,
Yeah.
grateful that I could be
Yeah.
traveling
Yeah.
and.
Yeah.
So-
We've had a lot of that this year. I think Greta Massey was in South Africa and had
Oh,
like
yeah.
3 or 4 deals going and made it work. It's, you can do it.
Teamwork.
When I was in the Galapagos, I had, somebody called me in the falls to come sign, to see about listing his house, and I sent Sissy over there, I said, go do it. Get the listing and we'll split it, and she did.
Oh,
awesome.
that's great.
So
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Traveling is good.
Collaboration too.
Yeah, if
That's
you
key.
want a deal, just go out of town.
That's-
Right.
Say the B word, you know? It's the B word.
Vacation, vacation.
I can't tell you how many offers I have written at 4 o'clock in the morning in the airport. Because
Yes.
as soon as they start packing, that phone starts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is going on? It's just like, so yeah.
If you're slow, just plan a vacation.
Yes.
Deals, just say that you're going on vacation.
That's it.
That's
It
it.
works.
That is it.
So just so you guys know, as a market center, we closed 131 units in June, which is 4 more units than we did last year. Don't you guys know the market's off?
Yeah.
Don't you know the market's off? Y'all are crushing it. Yes, that's worth celebrating. We are crushing it.
The number of closings in the whole market are down, but we're up. What does that mean?
We're taking our fair share,
We're taking market share, which is awesome.
Yeah.
our unfair share.
Yeah.
Yes. Whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if
so-
they're stinky listing.
Yeah.
We're taking Stevie away.
They
But yeah,
all
that
stink
means
in
y'all
some
are
way.
gaining market share, which is great.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, so let's celebrate the cappers in June. I'm just gonna read off the names off the list here. Lisa Allen, Cynthia Bourgeois, Sarah Bullard, David Cook, Wendy Hamlin, Andrea Smith, who I think capped for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rana Tiara and Ramesh Pinalacante, that's all.
my goal is just to have more cappers this year, so I really would love everyone to be a capper, which I think is possible, in our market, so if you're not capping, come see me. I wanna get you there.
Yeah, that's great. And then first transactions in June, we have Prasad and Emery Guy. Is Emery in the room today? I don't see Emery in the room. And
He's
then-
on Zoom. Woo!
Go Emery, go Emery. And then Angela and Michael Howland, they closed like a $1.3 million deal for their first deal.
Nice.
It's pretty awesome, so.
It's gonna spoil.
I know.
It's Angela, yes, congratulations, you snuck in.
No, Michael's an agent,
Yes.
a secret agent too.
Yeah.
Good work.
Yeah, also a chiropractor, I need to
Yes.
say.
Dual. It's a dual career, yes.
Okay, before we dive into this, I think we have two new people in the room that I just want to introduce you guys, new to the Market Center. Brandon, dear friend of mine that I've known for, I think it's 20 years.
20 plus probably.
20 plus years.
And a client of mine.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right, was a former client of mine, turned real estate agent.
yeah. Phenomenally talented musician, just amazing human being. Can I tell them what you're doing now with music? Okay, so Brandon's traveling with, and I'm gonna say this and you're gonna be like, what? Okay,
He plays drums.
he plays drums for the Queen tribute band.
Wow.
And I'm talking about the Blessed by the actual Queen tribute band. So yes, travels all over the world playing drums, selling real estate while he does it. Brandon, welcome to KW. Want to have you. And then we also have the great Nate Condry, who just joined us last week, right? I've known Nate for, is it 10 years?
Oh,
At this point, yeah, we played a lot of music together. Nate just got licensed, what, a few months ago? April, yeah, and has just joined John Serrano's team and bright future ahead. Okay, so this market data literally came in right before I walked into this room, and I dropped it on a slide because I wanted to talk through some of it and just see like what you guys are seeing in the market. But this is year over year data for detached homes. Okay, so new listings year over year are up 5.7%. Inventory is up right at 34%. Under contract, down 6.4%. Sold, up 11.4%. Here's where we get into the nitty gritty, right? Price reductions, right? 40.9% of listings. So that's up 7.9%. And failed listings are 36.5%, which is up 5.4%. So is that what you guys are seeing out there? Yeah. What does that speak to the importance of when we're having conversations about listings?
Price.
Price.
Gosh, price. Let's go to the next slide, Raven. I want to kind of bring it all home. So this to me is where the rubber meets the road. So let me unpack this for 1 second. So for every 100 finalized listings in June, so a finalized listing is either closed, expired, or it was canceled or withdrawn during the month. Okay, it's a little bit to wrap your head around, but for every 100 finalized listings, 37 failed. Right? 63 of them sold, but of the 63 that sold, 26 of them had price reductions. So that's 41% of the sold listings had price reductions. Their sales to original list price was 92.1%. And look at the days on market.
78, but if they were priced correctly out of the gate and they didn't have to take a price reduction, they're still selling for 100% with 12 days on market. And this is like, as a whole, it speaks to the importance of price. But that's the tricky part about this market, is that if you get it right, you can still get 100% of the list price. But if you don't get it right out of the gate, or you can't convince the seller, whatever it is, you're on the market a lot longer and you're 8% under, so.
And so let's pause for a second here and chat about this, because this is the biggest challenge we face, right? As agents and as an industry, is like sellers still think it's 2022, right?
Yeah.
And buyers are still adjusting to like the new interest rates, like it's, you know, we're kind of at this crux. Are you finding these conversations challenging? Like, are you overcoming this? Like, are you falling into this world over here? You know, how are these conversations going? Let's just talk about it for a minute.
Well, I mean, you just have to show the data in the area. I mean, I just had this conversation with someone, you know, last week, and of course, you know, they haven't been watching that closely. Oh, we think it can sell for this, we think this. Like, okay, great, let me show you all of this. And the biggest thing you have to point out is seller paid closing costs, because that's not on Zillow or anywhere else. They're like, oh, but they got their price. Yeah, but they paid 15K, seller paid closing costs that you didn't see.
Yeah.
So it's pointing those things out and showing that every single home closing here is doing this.
Yeah.
So just, let's be prepared, let's expect that
Yeah.
it might happen.
Yeah.
I think what Carrie's saying is very important. You can't just go into a listing appointment and throw these slides in front of
Oh,
you.
for sure. Yeah.
Because, like, I was in, one part of town yesterday, 57% of the listings are have price reductions.
Mhm.
Then
Wow,
you go to another area and it's 20%. So you got to really zone in, not just on these slides, but really on what market specific.
Hyper local.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great point. And also price point. Are you in luxury? What area of town? Yeah, I mean, this
Yeah.
is just as a whole, like an overview, but certainly it needs to be drilled down.
Yeah.
It's nice that now we have enough inventory, and we have inventory that's just sitting on the market, so we have something to show.
Yeah,
Because in the past 6 months, we haven't had anything to show.
yeah,
And it's like, well, you say that, but where's the proof? Well, you know, now we have the proof. And so we just need to get really good at, you know, providing the proof.
yeah,
and
that's
it's-
the point. I think sometimes the hardest part is when it's actually happening, but you don't have a lot of comps yet or whatever, but you know it's happening because you're in the middle of it as an agent, yeah.
You know, we see it all around, but you know, this is their neighborhood and everything's selling for 100%.
Yeah.
And, you know, now we have proof in their neighborhood that it's not selling for 100%. It's sitting on the market because they overpriced them.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the nice thing, is you have something now to comp against.
100%. Yeah,
And-
Myra?
And condition is becoming a big deal.
Yeah,
Like, people have to do things in the house. They cannot just slap a price and just say, I'm not doing anything. Because even though that you are doing all of this, like painting or cleaning or all of those things, you're still gonna have to consider paying closing costs.
Yeah.
So that's the conversation too.
Yeah.
It's like, not only you have to get the prettiest house in the block, but you also gonna have to be open to negotiate closing costs and being flexible with repairs and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Michelle?
I think we have to remember too that pretty is not always pretty.
Yeah.
Like, and that, you know, sellers love their baby. And they tend to go out and find the comps or the things that support what they think in their mind their house is worth. And so it's not just showing them, you know, a more broad look at the comps or things that really are comps, but it's also explaining to them that, well, you might love your bathroom in the nicest way possible.
I have one exactly like that right
well,
now.
you might like it, this is not what the mass buying pool is looking for.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
The house is painted in blues and golds and weird greens, and, you know, the other one I'm gonna put on the market this week, I got them to paint cabinets because they had Kelly green cabinets in their kitchen. And they couldn't understand why their house didn't sell the last
Kelly
time.
Green,
it
isn't
sold.
that the Philadelphia Eagles colors?
Uh,
Yeah, I think it
it's
is.
like that color.
Yeah, okay.
Face cabinets
And
with
the
Kelly
Hornets.
green.
Yeah, right now, it's, yeah.
And they loved them. They loved them. Of course they did.
From that color, right?
Kelly Green.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
But yeah, there's some
Oh,
predisposed to what their idea of.
Yeah, or that they
Premium or
renovated it, but that
value.
was.
So you always gotta start the
Well-
conversation off though with, this is lovely, I know.
I love it.
I was just kidding. I love it. This color.
Really not American.
Maybe we're tax shy.
I think the reverse of it too, especially like if you're someone whose database is running dry,
Yeah,
is looking at the ratio of those numbers,
yeah.
37 to 100. I'd be going on FMLS every morning, checking expireds and withdrawals and calling to see if I can find a solution, to get them on the market again.
Yeah,
It's a good.
yeah, I mean,
Right.
I would just say a large majority of the agent population does not know
Yeah.
this kind of data, so you're so ahead of the game. So if it didn't sell, you could probably easily go in and figure out why and
Yeah.
then help them sell. Second time around, that's a really good point.
Yeah, and Raven will send out this data later this week, so you guys will have all the slides and the spreadsheets of all the June data updated. So you'll be able to get that neighborhood specific information. So just in summary, as you're putting together your elevator speech, in summary, seller competition continues to rise with strong pressure to ensure the original list price and condition are in line with the market. On the flip side, savvy buyers are benefiting from more choices, longer marketing times, and more seller negotiation. That's a good elevator speech,
Yeah.
right? I mean, so yes, Carrie.
Just wanted to add something in quickly, just because I know there's a lot of newer agents in the room here, and kind of onto Raven's point of checking in with withdrawn and expired listings. You need to really make sure, especially in this market right now, that if you are meeting with someone who has a failed listing or something like that they really are motivated and they're gonna listen to you. Please do not waste your time. You will waste time, energy, efforts, and missing out on great business if you try to dial into someone who really isn't that motivated, really doesn't care, is not gonna take your advice. So not every listing is a great listing and you don't want them all. You need to be selective about what it is you take, because you gotta think about your time and energy and efforts, and that's valuable. And if you're sinking your time into this, you're missing out on great business elsewhere.
For sure.
That's a good word.
Good word.
Yeah.
Yeah, great stuff. Okay, transitioning out of this, so we served for Red Day, an organization called Homestretch. Thanks to Kanani and Myra connecting us with Homestretch. While we were there was a group that said, hey, we can do more. We're not just gonna serve this organization, we're gonna find a way to give. And I'm not gonna read this whole letter, but so you guys raised $5,200 to help them renovate one of their units. And I'm just gonna read this a little bit, because for me, this is what it's all about, right? Dear team at Keller Williams, on behalf of Homestretch and the board treasurer, I want to express our deepest gratitude for your remarkable donation of $5,281 to support the complete refurbishment of Unit 800E. Your generosity extends far beyond what words can adequately convey, and we are truly honored by your commitment to our community. I'm going to skip down a little bit because it's long, but thanks to your generous donation, we will be able to completely transform Unit 800E with new LVP flooring throughout the entire unit, complete kitchen cabinet replacement, updated lighting fixtures, professional tub resurfacing, new bathroom tile flooring. Who's this contractor, by the way? Yeah. Complete refurbishment will create a welcoming, dignified home environment that goes far beyond what we initially envisioned. Your donation has turned a basic renovation into a complete home transformation. So
Yeah, that's amazing. It's a condition of some of those homes.
yeah.
I just love that we were able to elevate that.
And I probably shouldn't assume Homestretch is an organization that helps the homeless transform their lives back into society. It's pretty amazing. So anyhow, and one other thing I wanted to mention, so in the month of May, you guys donated so much to KW Cares that our market center gets a coaching call. with the great Mo Anderson.
Wow.
Yeah, so just,
I
That's
love
awesome.
Mo, so this is very exciting for me.
When
But
is that gonna happen?
I-
Scheduling right now.
yeah, we have two different options we're looking at.
it's gonna be kind of like a group,
Group Zoom.
yeah,
Yeah.
something like.
Yeah,
But we were on just one of a few, so
Yeah.
it was very exciting.
yeah. So, you guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Raven, tell us what's going on in the market center. Oh, I'm sorry. We can't, sorry, we can't skip over Bold. Go ahead. Go
Guys, you
ahead.
know what time of year it is, it's fall. We only have one Bold going on this year, and something exciting is that we're gonna be the host market center this year. And not only do we have an amazing Bold coach, but our Bold coach is actually the CEO of MAPS Coaching for Keller Williams this year. This was Andy and Leslie's coach who helped them grow their team and purchase the many market centers, right? Coach them through purchasing all those market centers. So we have a quick video from our coach here. Nate, I'm sure you can attest, he's just a real down to earth guy.
Yeah, we had a call with him last week. I was so excited after that call, after just learning more about him.
Yes,
And
yes.
there's a couple things I want to say about, it, but go ahead and.
Hey folks, Abe Shreve here, and I hope you'll join me for Bold. We're coming and we're gonna crush it together. The story is told of a traveler who entered a small town in the South, and as he was walking into town, he looked up on a big billboard, and there was a target drawn on the sign, and someone had shot a perfect bullseye. And as he made his way down the road, he noticed there was a huge magnolia tree. And sure enough, there was a target drawn on the magnolia tree, and someone had shot perfectly in the bullseye. In fact, everywhere he looked, he would see a target with a perfect dead center shot. And he knew that in this town is a champion marksman. So he started to ask everyone, who is this person? I've got to talk to him. And it turns out that the guy was the town idiot. But he wanted to talk to him. And so he met the man, sat down, he said, look, I know what they say about you, but I have to know, how did you become such a champion marksman? And the guy said, it's easy. I shoot something and then I draw the target around it. Now, I want you to think about your business and your approach. Do you have sequential habits for every single morning that lead you into a lead generation process that is really duplicatable? How consistent are you? And what is your plan when you get off plan? All of us are going to get off plan. Sometimes we are like the town idiot, not you, but others. Sometimes we can be like this guy, where we do something and say, look at that, we're doing our business. But I want to promise you that life on purpose is such a better way to live. And it's better to name a target, do everything within our power to booby trap it, and take our best shot and then catalog the learning, than it is to just start working and say, look, we did stuff. In Bold, we're going to focus a lot of our attention on helping you put together a business plan and a strategy and work through your performance barriers such that you can have a business that's predictably productive. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see you there. Now, I'm going to come the night before First Step. And for those of you that will register right now, I'm not talking just for First Step, that will complete your Bold registration. You'll be a Bold VIP, and I'm going to do a 2.5-hour session, unplugged, where I answer all your questions and we dive into your business the night before the first step of Bold. So register. Link is with this video. See you guys soon.
Guys, he is doing that
Hey,
special
folks.
incentive. Remember, First Step is completely free, so even if you can't come for the full Bold, say your finances don't meet that this time, register for the First Step, come out to that, come for a full free day of coaching to hear the CEO of MAPS Coaching and get poured into for your business, right?
Yeah, so we've got some big goals around this. We'd love 100 people from the Market Center to attend. And after getting off the call last week with Abe, I was so fired up because for me, it's not just about it's not about Bold. It's about who's coaching it.
Yeah.
Right? He's the CEO of MAPS.
He's in very close relationship with Gary Keller.
Yes, extremely passionate human being. And I'm fired up.
Also, we should note Onward Bold is written by Gary Keller. It's a new format of Bold. He talked a little bit about that on our call.
Yeah.
So, and I just think there's a massive opportunity. I've taken Bold I probably should know, but maybe like 5 times. I mean, I think there's a huge opportunity in this market as we start to take market share to really dig in. Like, this is the time you want to be like focused in figuring out mindset and approach and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's a great opportunity with a great coach.
And don't you agree that it hits you differently where you're at in your
Oh,
career?
yeah,
at that time?
absolutely.
You're not gonna take the same things away from it as when you're a new agent to when you're 10, 15 years into the business.
100%. And just the relationships you form and build with agents across DLG is amazing. So
You know, and guys, agents that have been in this business, in this market center for 20 years, we have some agents, I'm 7 times bold.
yeah.
And there's some agents that are. People are bold in here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, you have a different experience every time. That's so
Every single
true.
person
And
that teaches it,
it-
gives you a different experience, different things to look at, and ways to make your business perform.
yeah, and I think the coach is so important. Like we,
It's so important.
and so, yes. And
To
so
have the head
we-
of coaching.
Yeah, I mean, we really were very excited when we got off that call about him.
Yeah.
So, you know,
And bold scholarships are open. You will need some references. Just follow these steps here and you'll apply by clicking the link.
Yep.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the market center. Guys, start your day off right by mastering the market of the moment with this mastermind. Did we say enough M's there? At least I got through it this time. 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m., Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Get on the call with GLG peers. They're going to be talking about what's going on in the market. Great way to start your day. And then on Thursdays and Fridays from 9 to 9:30, they actually do live role plays and sometimes actually do live client calls. So
Yeah.
that's amazing.
come check that out. We also have the lovely Marquia will be here Wednesday, our business coach. She's gonna do mastering the art of contingency driven negotiations with buyer and sellers. So come out to that. That's from 1 to 2:30. And then on the 30th, Melba will be here for a broker open, completely open forum. Bring your broker problem, bring your broker questions, and she's gonna help you solve them. All right, we have a summer series with Sam Jackson completely online. You can come and check out these tech classes throughout July. And you'll be able to click on that Zoom link. It's not the normal Roswell Zoom link. You'll have to use Sam's Zoom link there. And then we have a lunch and learn coming up on the 16th for red flags for house defect.
I just want to talk real quick about Sam's doing these virtual classes because he was getting a lot of feedback that like when you're in a room and you're doing something Zoom, it's a different experience versus when it's actually meant to be virtual. So he did this based on y'all's feedback to offer virtual only. So kudos to Sam for doing that.
And then we also have State of the Market this month. So on the 22nd, we'll have State of the Market where Andy and Leslie Peters will be going over the Q2 stats. And they'll be going over the most important slides to help you guys educate your buyers and sellers and also yourself so you can do the best business practices out there, right? And then the very next day, we'll have Value Squared with Leslie Peters. This is free CE, and she's gonna dive into basically doing your value proposition to your clients. This was a very high demand class after the NAR settlement. So if you need help defining your value proposition to your clients, this is for you. It is $25. That's just for the lunch and the course book. But come on out for that tour when we're to office.
Who has taken that?
Yeah.
So good. I mean, I always say don't miss anything Leslie's teaching, but I think some people traveled to Savannah for that last time you did, yeah.
And I'm taking it twice already.
Okay.
And I'm going to see it again.
And then we have our lunch sponsors. I don't know if they're here yet today, but we have Atlanta Peach Movers as our lunch sponsors today. So when you leave team meeting today, you can pop out there and grab some lunch on them. And there are new alliance partners, just so you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
All right, I'm
Awesome.
excited.
Yeah, yeah. Guys, we have a great panel for you today. Let's welcome Jill, Fabiola, Rhonda, Renee, and Carrie. Yeah, come on up. Do we need one more chair? Or no, one? No, we're good on chairs. What a panel. Yes, agree wholeheartedly. Let me move this so everybody can see you guys. So I did just a little bit of digging this morning and I discovered that represented up here is over 350 million of real estate sales over the past. I don't know how many years. So just.
We all killed it last year.
Yeah.
And the year before.
So let's just start real quick. So, because a lot of people know you, but not everybody does. So Jill, we'll start with you. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in business.
Okay, so Jill Maxton, I live in downtown Alpharetta now. I have a little doggy, Poppy, a new puppy. I'm widowed and I started in business because my kids were in college and my husband said, I think you really should go to work, we're spending a lot of money. And I said, oh, I really don't want to go to work. So then he said, oh, I think you should. I said, all right, well, I'm gonna go into real estate. He said, oh, no, not real estate. You'll spend more money then. And so it was kind of funny, but I said, well, I'm gonna prove you wrong. So I'm always up for a challenge. When somebody says I can't do something, I normally try and turn it around and do it. So
That's
that's why I started in real estate 10.5 years ago, 11 years ago.
That's awesome. Very cool. Rhonda, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Rana Tayara. I live in Roswell, 5 minutes from here. I moved to the state when I got married probably 20 years ago, and my husband is a commercial broker, and he encouraged me to go into real estate because it's time flexible, he said, right? So I got my license. I have two boys now. One is going to college. He's going to UGA, and the second one, he's gonna be a junior at high school. So I got licensed when I moved in 20 years ago. I started practicing when my youngest turned maybe like 1 or 2 years old. And it's been a journey. I enjoy it. It has its up and down, but you need to stay focused. And that's it.
That's great. That's awesome. Gary?
I'm Carrie Veal. I live here in Roswell. In September, I'll be starting my 9th year here with the Market Center. I've only been here at KW Roswell.
Yes.
Let's go.
My whole time. And so I really started, I worked for many years at CNN and Turner Broadcasting with Twee Burchett over here. She and I worked together.
How cool.
Yeah. And I love that job. And then I left working there when I was pregnant with my third because my oldest was starting kindergarten. And so same kind of thing. So I stayed home for a few years. And then when my youngest started kindergarten, I wanted to get back to work. And I kept trying to find something that would have flexibility, part-time. So, yeah, I know, exactly. All of those things. And then, yeah, it was actually my brother-in-law who's a realtor in Dallas. And he's like, why don't you do real estate? You know a lot of people. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll get into real estate. And I love it. It feels like the most perfect job ever, especially coming off corporate. I love having the corporate background, but I feel like, and that's helped me because I don't ever want to go back to corporate again. I love having my own business. But yeah, same thing. I got to work to support my family. I have 3 girls. My oldest is going to her junior year in college. She's at Michigan State at Spartans. And then my middle is in her senior year at Innovation. And then my youngest is about to start, same age as your daughter. She's about to start her freshman year at Roswell High School. So I got to work to support all of them, and they require a lot. So.
I don't know what to say about that.
Mine are off the payroll.
My name's Renee Prude. I've been licensed 18 years. I too was in corporate America and took a little bit of break when my kids were little. Then when I was trying to go back, my husband's first thing was like, you should be a school teacher. And I'm like, not the school teacher. And so decided to get my license because it's flexible. And And I was in Woodstock for a lot of years. That's where I started. And made them, but I've been living here like 12, 14 years. And so it was like, what am I doing? And so moved here a couple years ago. Greatest decision ever. We're empty nesters. My husband's retired. He holds his license, but that's only to put in a sign or open a lockbox on a new listing. He's not allowed to talk to anyone. And no, I'm just kidding. But not really. But no, it's been the perfect fit. I had a lot of corporate jobs and this has by far been the best job I've ever had. So.
So, hi everyone, I'm Fabiola Moy. I just started my 4th year and I've always been here, so I love this office. I was stay-at-home mom for a while until my kids were 8 and 9, and then I was like, oh, I gotta do something, I wanna do something. Worked in education as a severe special needs paraprofessional, so did that for like 5-6 years. We're in Connecticut at that time, and COVID hit. We moved here, my brother's here, my dad's here, our family's here. So I was like, all right, not going back to school, COVID, and I wanted to do something. And so I was like, let's give real estate a shot. Same thing, but the flexibility.
Yeah.
Driving home yesterday from the beach, working over 2 contracts, so that's how it is, right? And I have 2 kids. Josh is gonna be a freshman at UGA Honors College, and then Sarah's a rising senior at Lambert. And my husband hopes to retire early to switch the income. I could hold the income for him to retire early, but I don't think that's gonna happen. And so, yeah, I love it and love this business.
That's awesome. That's so good. So I'm gonna ask some questions and we don't have to go in any particular order, just if you feel compelled to answer, do, but like, if you could go back to when you started, right? What skill or lesson did you have to learn kind of the hard way? And how did it help your success? Anybody jump in?
Okay, I think with me, when you first start, you're all over the place. You don't know what you're doing and people are trying to sell you everything. And you're going bumper car from here to here to here to here. You really, I think you need to do some self-reflection and really figure out thoroughly what avenue you want to take, whether it's farming or expired or whatever you're going to do, or just working your sphere. But that you really got to focus in because there's so much. It's like drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah.
So I wish I would have done that a little bit earlier.
Right, kind of had, I would add on to that, because also too, it's like the biggest thing they always tell you is, you don't want to be a secret agent. So you want to tell every single person you're, a realtor. And so I did all kinds of, I would have people at like Chick-fil-A and I'd pay for their kids and ice cream. And then I tried to do like a buyer seminar and like nobody showed up. I did it with like a lender and an insurance person. No one showed up, and we were at like this brewery place. And so we got a bunch of people. We're like, hey, like come over here. Everybody sit here and we're gonna like pretend like we're showing you stuff and like we're gonna take a bunch of pictures and we'll buy you beer. And they're like, yeah. So like just learning things like that and going around or like doing things where like I meet like weirdos. Like I would go 4th of July, like I hand out flags to people and the only people who respond back were people with like inappropriate texts. It's like that. So, kind of doing that, but you learn from that. Because you have to put yourself out there. But like Jill said, you kind of start honing in on the things where you're putting yourself out there and you're getting the results versus like just kind of trying to be too many things to too many people.
Yeah, and the other thing is lead with revenue.
Yes.
Don't spend a lot of money. People are trying to sell you when you're first in the business, everything. Really be specific and particular on what you're spending your money on.
I would say, don't invest in stuff, invest in a coach. Because if you have a solid background as you start up, it will lead you for profit moving on. Having a good system to have all your database and a system how to work the lead from the moment you meet them until 10 years later. Having a plan for the future. It's not too early, even when you're starting. Actually, it's the best thing. I wish someone had told me that before. Because even now, more than 10 years later on, I'm still scrabbling to put my system in place because I haven't done it at the very beginning. So don't go, there are gonna be a lot of shiny stuff. You're gonna be tempted to, okay, let me do this, let me do that, let me do the magazine, don't spend any money on that. Just get a good coach. that can guide you on how to put the systems and everything in place so you can start strong.
Just be yourself, honestly. Don't try to pretend to be someone else who you're not. Be true to who you are and do more of what you love. People will know, like, and trust you, and just expand on things that you love and just build deeper relationships that way.
It's good. It's good, Renee, anything to
No.
add there? No, okay.
Nothing
So-
pretty enough.
This might be a little bit off script, but as like I'm sitting here thinking, how do you balance like taking care of clients versus lead generation? Because it's like that's always the thing that pulls you away, right? It's like you want to provide excellent service, but right, like generating leads is super important. How do you balance that?
You have to have a schedule in place and you have to protect it with your life. That's a secret. It's not easy. It's simple. Simple is not easy. Simple is you know what you need to do and you need to keep doing it repetitively. It might not be, you might not be able to do it every single day, but have like a plan B. If I wasn't able to do it today by this time, I have a plan B to do X, Y, Z. So just try to really have a sacred schedule, like I need to do lead generation, whichever form that is close to your heart. It doesn't have to be cold calling, no. You can be going out to places that you like and meeting people in that location, but trying to really to be systematic every single day doing that. There's no real balance unless you really are system intentionally doing it.
I spend an hour a day making phone calls and it's time blocking. Like you said, and it's very important. I mean, that hour every single day to have people calling you back. Got it. For me, I don't know.
It's great.
Except when I'm on vacation.
Yeah, in the Galapagos.
In the Galapagos.
Anyone else have anything to add to Fabiola? You were kind of laughing, Fabiola, when we.
I have to, I'm learning from what I'm hearing as well.
Oh, that's good. Okay, when you're at capacity, like what do you delegate? Like, I don't know if any of you have an admin, like, so when you get super busy, how do you delegate or automate or eliminate?
I hate to keep talking, but I've got an admin now. Also, you've got to leverage your time, honestly, because you can't do everything. You get burned out. I've got a contract to close person and an admin. And now I've got somebody who's doing my P&Ls on a monthly basis. So, yeah, they're doing the stuff I hate doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
The marketing stuff, the
I agree.
P&L stuff that are putting receipts and all of that. Yeah.
Right.
And utilize our market center, like I had a couple of guys help me with open houses, but I couldn't do it, so utilize people here.
Well, and it's also too, it's just laying those expectations with your clients in advance. You don't ever want them to think, oh, I'm a one-stop shop. I'm gonna do every single thing for you. It's telling them, hey, I've got a great team that helps me out. Here's my transaction coordinator. You're gonna be hearing from them. When we do open houses, I'll probably be there for one, and then I've got a great team who's gonna be there in place for everyone. So you kind of just set those expectations in advance so they don't come back, well, I thought you were gonna do that, or I thought you were gonna take care of that. Cause it, as Jill said, it's super important. I actually remember, she's not in the room right now, but Sarah Sloan said that to me years ago. She's like, when you're busy and you're maxed out like that, she's like, your clients know you're not fooling them at all. And you don't ever want people to think, oh, I can't call Carrie. She's too busy right now. She doesn't have time for me. So you don't ever want your people to think that. So like Jill said, leverage the things you don't really like to do. I mean, a transaction coordinator is the first and easiest thing to do. Cause I remember I'd get in situations to be the day before closing. I'm like, oh crap, what are the utilities? I don't know what the utilities are. I gotta figure that out. To have someone else doing all those things just makes a load of difference, and it's such a minimal cost.
Yeah, that's great. Anyone else have anything to add there?
I use the word we a lot instead of, it's just me, and I have same thing. I have a TC if I need to, I have other people helping me if I need to. But I use the we instead of me, I or me. So then it opens up, it's like you're already studying that with your clients. It's a group, it's a team, whoever that may be for that transaction.
Yeah, that's great. So setting those expectations,
Yeah.
that's great.
And just to clarify for agents, when you're saying we, you don't have a hire team.
No, I
You're
don't.
using people in the office.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, Yeah, to help with.
Doesn't matter who you're talking to.
Yeah.
So can you guys give me an example of something you've done to turn a client into like a lifelong fan, like a lifelong supporter?
I think for me, it's just being invested in their lives. Like I end up being Facebook friends with a lot of my clients after we close. And just knowing like, oh, they just had a baby or they just had a grandchild or they're expecting a grandchild, sending a little, book, grandparent book or a little something when something happens in their life and just calling them about it and just celebrating with them. And that helps. And doing Popeyes as well and just having the DTV too. So being in constant contact with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree with that also, and just kind of like trying to, the best you can to exceed whatever their expectations are. Cause I've got a client like that, he's probably my number one referral partner. And when I first met him, it was through someone else and we were working through some really hard things. He had investment properties that were his father's, his father died early, he was extremely upset, there was like another, his father had remarried and she was trying to get so it was like a nasty situation. So sometimes I would just have to sit there on the phone and like just listen to him, and go through it and just kind of be consoling. And so it's, everything I tried to do was to try to exceed his expectations. Like, most of these homes were vacant. So I try to like take on everything. Okay. I've got the cleaning person, I've got the tree person, I've got the painting person, I'm gonna coordinate all these things for you. You're just not gonna have to worry about anything, and just handling every single thing for them, making it as easy as possible for them, I would say.
And I think also, like, if you come from a point of caring and giving to people. When I have a new client, I basically, 90% of my clients I've become friends with. Like, there was one I'd never met before and we had a great time and I sold their house and then I sold their daughter a house and their son and their other daughter. And I visit him in St. Simon's now. We've become friends, and that's not with just one client, that's with a lot of them, because they can tell right off. You really care about them. You don't care about the commission. You don't care about the money you're gonna make, right? You care about what's best for them. And they feel that, they know it.
Yeah.
So you really have to come from a place of caring about what you're doing and your clients.
That's great. What do you guys, when you have that tension where you've got that one deal that's like, I don't know, you're 10 days out from closing, but looking beyond that, like the pipeline's a little bit dry. I think everybody kind of feels that tension. When that happens, what's your go-to? Like, I know Jill, you said, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's
That's
always
good.
good.
What's your go-to in the pipeline when it's like, starting to feel a little tense?
Probably going to some of your biggest supporters and keeping track of all of that. I definitely have a lot of information in command, but you do have to find what works for you. So I just have a good old fashioned Excel spreadsheet where every year I have all my closings marked down for that year, the address, whether it's buyer or seller. How do I know them? Are they a repeat client? And then also I put down to what the motivation was for doing that. So sometimes I'll just go through and pick like some of my very best, wonderful people. Hey, who doesn't like it when you call them up and, oh my gosh, I was just thinking about you today. I saw this and it reminded me of this part of our transaction, or, oh, I remembered, your son is going here and I thought about you, and just that kind of thing. And just having those phone calls, because when you do that, those are all happy, nice, friendly calls. So it kind of bolsts you up a little bit and you can kind of put real estate in there. And then it also kind of fires you up to maybe make some other phone calls as well. Once you're kind of like on a roll, I call it, then you're like, oh yeah, what about that person? I forgot about them. Let me just check in with them, because every person likes that. If you call, hey, I was just thinking about you today. Like, who don't want to hear that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I use Command for my database, and you've got to get in that database, do the task and make phone calls and follow up. In my farm, I try and call everybody each quarter, everybody in the farm. So just to say, hey, do you have any questions about what's happening in the market? So-
That's great. That's great. Renee, I saw you laughing when Carrie said Excel spreadsheet.
Because I use an Excel spreadsheet that's on steroids. It's actually a Keller Williams product. And but it's like too much. I'd be fine with just a regular spreadsheet. And this thing like tracks my life. And that was probably the smartest thing I did, was using that, because I can tell you at any given moment, everything, my pipeline, how many I've closed, what my average sales price is. I think it tells me days on market, but I don't look at that as much, everything, except for not the motivation. I did like that. But yeah, but when start, and it goes like that, because what do they say? It's like a 30 or 60 or 90 days, whatever it is that they say, if you don't do the work now, it shows up that many days later. And then it happens, yeah, because you do, stuff goes on. You have stuff with family, you have stuff with business, you have, the terrible transaction that takes all your energy. And so you just have to I pick up the phone and start calling people. And I mean, I'm not, and it's not like, do you know anybody who's gonna buy or sell or invest in real estate that I should meet today? It's more like, you just call people that love you, and you're like, oh, I was thinking about you. And I mean, sometimes I don't talk about real estate to my coach's dismay, but it's just really about their connections, so.
So, a couple of you have mentioned coaches. Do you guys all have coaches right now? Not everybody does.
I
Probably
don't
you do,
know.
Renee. Yeah, yeah. I'm just curious.
Well, I wanna know, like, what do you think that's done for your business? Like, when you haven't had one for him, when you do have one?
Might changed my life. Cause I was on a team for almost 10 years, and I think we had like a shared coach for just a little bit, and it did not work well. And then when I left, and I had always said, I don't know why I waited to leave the team, but I also said, if I ever leave the team, the first thing I'm gonna do is hire a coach. I hired a MAPS coach, absolutely changed my life. 100%. I cannot speak highly enough about someone. I mean, it wasn't just my business, and it wasn't, well, how many calls did you make today? How many people do you have in your pipeline? It was everything. It was like how to navigate being a business owner. And, I mean, because for like almost 10 years, I just like threw my paychecks in with our personal, which is a huge mistake. And I left so much money on the table, and it took a $50,000 tax bill for me to figure that out, that no one like guided me on. And so it was, he was my coach for like 2 years. And you know how they talk about how you're gonna outgrow him, and unfortunately he got sick and passed away, but I don't really even know if I would have outgrown him. Because, I mean, it was just a perfect fit. I would highly recommend that and I agree, almost like right out of the chute. Get a coach, get someone to help you, to encourage you, to tell you when you're not doing your job. Because that's the other thing I find in real estate, is that people, oh, I want to be agent, whoa, 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 and it's like, they don't want to do the work. It's like, this is the fun part after you do the horrible part, which is not always horrible, but it's just part of
No,
life.
it's always horrible.
It doesn't have to.
You can get further faster with something.
Absolutely, but and it's also what you want.
Yeah.
Cause I make a point not to judge if somebody had a $20 million year last year and this year they're at 2 million. It's like, I don't know what's going on with their life,
Right.
and and if they're happy with that, then I'm happy for them. It's not about bigger, faster, double your whatever, to me.
Yeah, your goals are not always about money.
No,
I mean,
yeah.
part of my goal is to travel 3 to 4 months a year.
Yeah, that's awesome. Life by design.
I feel like 6 sounds good.
Yeah, or take 2 really big trips a year, and I'm accomplishing that. Love it. Can I say something?
Yes, yeah.
So what Jill was talking about is, figure out what your business is gonna be. But start from the very beginning, designing that business for if you were retiring or you get to the stage in their businesses where you want to take vacations and have a life outside of real estate. Because for the first 3 years that I was in real estate, I worked 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. My husband only has Sundays off. I worked every Sunday. And when I went back and started redesigning my business to the life I wanted to lead, I had an actual life, right? I mean, Jill just told you, she takes 4 or 5, however many months she wants to. And she still runs a very good business, but she's sitting up there, she's a top agent in our market center. So, but that's the hardest thing to teach yourself up front is start that business with a big mindset. And you know, where you're gonna be at the end and work it backwards. And what does that look like? I mean, you're gonna have to really work hard here to get there. But if you don't put your business in place right here, it's gonna be really hard and you'll have to start over 2 or 3 times like some of us in this room. Yeah, and people start off, I mean, all the new agents say they wanna make 100,000 a year. You know what? That's not enough, period. You know, you really gotta think bigger than that, quite honestly. Because, I mean, I thought, oh my gosh, 100,000, that's a lot of money, you know, cause I hadn't worked for so long. And then all of a sudden I'm doing over 400,000 in GCI and I'm like, whoa, how did I do this, you know? But I wasn't really thinking about, it was planning and doing business planning, but it wasn't really focusing on the money, it was focusing on the business and the clients more than anything. And, you know, my bucket list, I'm scratching stuff off.
That's so good. That's so good. And that's the thing, setting goals doesn't necessarily mean how many houses am I gonna sell, right? It's like you're building the life that you want to live. Renee, when you touched on the coaching thing, like transitioning from not having a coach, what was the crux where you're like, all right, I gotta get a coach? Like what was
It
it?
was just like a weird thing I'd always said when I was on my team. I think because we didn't have like a great coaching experience, but I felt like once I left the team, I was gonna need the additional support, I guess.
Yeah.
And direction. And it really, I mean, I couldn't even tell, and of course it's been more than a year, but I couldn't even tell you if we really, I mean, I know we talked about productions because I had like if this tells you how old I am, I had a piece of paper that I had to like fill out these little numbers and email to him. And so every week we were tracking my production, but we talked about so much other stuff and even like bad transactions. You know, I had these people come after me and it was horrible. And he was like, you cannot put those snakes back in the box. And because I was desperately trying to. And so it was just really a whole package thing. But it's also a function of because then after he stepped out, and I went through a couple that weren't an awesome fit, and it was like, oh, yeah, no. So, but you know, it takes a little bit and then you find somebody who works for you. So not everybody is gonna be perfect, but you're paying money, so if it's not working for you, you have to be the bigger man and be like,
It's not working.
it's not working.
Yeah, yeah. Rhonda, what about for you? When did you decide to get a coach?
Sorry, I got, at different time in my career, I got coaches. At one time, it went maybe like for 5 months, but it wasn't the best fit for me and I just stopped it. And then I resumed maybe later last year. And I feel like I need someone just to be like fine tuning, accountability, putting in contact, discussing stuff. And I feel like I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. It's, you know, one of the things we talk about regularly is like set clear goals and just find someone to hold you accountable, whether it's a coach or a peer or somebody, right? I'm curious to know, like, how are you guys beyond real estate? Like, how are you building wealth? Do you guys invest in properties? Do you buy stock? Like, what's your future plan in terms of wealth creation?
Well, I stocks, bonds, and
Yeah.
I have a rental property. Which I think I'm gonna sell this year,
Okay.
but buy more stock.
Yeah, okay.
I'm doing well in the stock market.
That's good.
I like my broker. Yeah, just, I mean, and then I buy, you know, buying, so I buy gold, there's
Yeah.
different investments that I do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything they want to share associated with that?
I mean, I will be very honest, I wish I had investment property, I don't, I love my family, they like to spend money. I work very hard for them to try to make them all happy. I do, I have all girls, and they all like stuff, and my husband likes toys too. So that's kind of where I am right now, so I'm probably not the best example, but I wanna be honest and say that because, you know, but I will say we have invested in definitely some fun things. One thing I will say, it's probably not like on the same line of stocks and future investments, but we bought a boat. Here and there, so I'm just gonna say that real quick.
That's an investment.
I love this boat. I love this boat so much. And here's just a quick thing why I like it. I am at the point in my life, just because I've got kids and school schedules, I can't take off vacation here, vacation there, vacation there. I'm not able to do that with their school schedules and things like that. But the greatest thing ever, so I'm not saying you'll have to go buy a boat. The best thing ever is I could be working all week and we can go to the lake on the weekend. And I feel like I've had that time. I feel like I've had that decompression, that vacation time, that really wonderful time without having to be gone for a week or something like that. So if there is something like that that you love or that you enjoy, I mean, work up to that, put your, because I mean, every time we talk about something, I'm like, okay, we're not gonna get rid of that boat because I love that boat. So just have something like that too, that is, brings your family lots of enjoyment. You can bring your friends out there, other family members, just all of that. But so it's investment in that, in my peace of mind too.
That's so good. I love that. We had a boat for a season.
We did. You're still mad at me about it, because we sold it, and that was
When he sold his.
yeah, but it was awesome. I agree. It's great family time. It feels like a vacation.
And the other thing you need to invest in is your wellness. Really, really need to, I work out every day, almost every day, 6 days a week at least. And you've really got to spend time, whether you join a gym, walk every day, whatever, because that takes away so much stress. And hey, the real estate business is very stressful. And it just balances you out. Like, I'd probably murder somebody if I didn't work out.
Good to know.
Renee just noted that.
Renee, you do fitness as well to kind of decompress, right?
I do.
I think I've seen you
I
running.
do,
or
I
something.
run, almost every day. I work out twice a week with a small group training. Yeah, and well, my doctor, the whole thing now is they don't want you to raise your cortisol level, whatever. And so he's like, you should walk more. And I'm like, it takes too long. It's a great idea. I do that once a week, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, you've got to have something besides real estate. There's no prize for working the most hours.
Yeah, I love that. I'm passionate about balance and wellness, so that's great. That's super important. So we have, like, in Arinda size, like, we have brand new agents. We have agents that are, maybe a few years into the business, maybe crushing it, maybe struggling. Let's give a piece of advice for someone that's brand new. And then someone that's maybe in the middle of their career and is maybe struggling to get traction. And I'd love for all of you to give just like a nugget for those two groups in here, whoever wants to start.
You start.
All right, I'll start. I am part of the Pivot Shift Ahead with community with James Shaw. I love it. I'm also part of his private mastermind, Inspire Collective. And I think that just like, he's got a call every morning from 7:30 to 8:20. You can still go to the GLG chat afterwards if you want. But that just sets my mindset, and you're with top agents from all over the world, mostly in the US. And you've got like new agents, you got MRAs in there, just feeding you, just changing your mindset, and just with the Inspire Collective, what I like about that is that it's $100 a month, or you pay $1,000 for the year. I pay the year because I saved $200, but they give you playbooks of exactly what other agents do, top MRAs, what they do, and you R&D it. So choose, they give you an offering, kind of like, what you're saying, like there's so many things, different things, and you pick and choose what works for you and dive deep into it. I've also gotten into like 2 networking groups, and yeah, same thing, build relationships in those networking groups. And that's what has helped me.
It's great.
Can I say something what Fabian said? James Shaw is not theory. It is tactical what people have done. Those playbooks are what agents are doing.
It works.
It works.
Yeah, it's a great group.
And it's Pivot Shift Ahead for anybody that.
It's on Facebook, right?
It's on Facebook, or you can Zoom it, you can go back and listen to recordings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got a lot of good information. So, the best advice I ever got was in my post-license class. And it's don't become attached to the outcome. Because that is the number one thing everybody, especially when you're new and especially because you're thinking, oh my God, that's gonna be like $10,000 or $15,000 or 20 or whatever it is. And it feels like such a huge number. Of course, it's gross, not net, but it's like, and you can see if your co-op agent is attached to it too, by the way they act. And and it doesn't really matter where you are in your career. If you can remember that, then it's about the client, not about yourself. And that's probably what has benefited me most through everything. So.
I would just tack on to that real quick. I know, I always think of the song, you know, The Gambler. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. I'm gonna account, because I do the same thing too. When I'm closing something, I don't calculate out, oh, I'm gonna make this much money.
No.
I know money is coming, I know, but I don't ever finalize amounts or what I'm gonna do with it. My
Don't be
biggest.
buying a boat.
Yeah. Make sure you get the money for the boat. Before you buy the boat. Yes. Yes, you gotta have that. My biggest thing is, and the funny thing is, this has kind of really come to me more recently. I had some challenging transactions this year, and I think the hardest thing is, as real estate agents, as they say, like, we wake up every day unemployed. So as unemployed, we're really hungry. We're trying to get business. And in doing that, sometimes we're not effectively vetting people to our criteria. We're thinking, oh, they got a house to sell. Yeah, I'm gonna help them sell a house. And, you know, maybe we look them up on Forewarn. Okay, they haven't done any, you know, criminal activities or anything like that. They're good.
Whatever.
No, they're not good. Not all people. Yeah, I just want to emphasize, I can't emphasize enough, not all people are great people. And you have to really make sure and protect yourself, because this is your mental well-being, this is your physical well-being. When you get wound up with people who are toxic, it completely depletes you. So what I did was I made like a little list of criteria. And I put perfect client. And the first thing was nice. Nice was on the list. You know, someone who trusts me, someone who listens to me, someone who's motivated, you know, someone who will share my name with others. And I put down all these things and I put it right next to my bed. And then I said, you know what? No, not the perfect client. This should be every client. Every client I have should fall into this. And I will tell you, it's hard because at first it takes you a little bit to get to know that someone's like that. But do not be afraid to walk away from something. I know I've kind of stated this before, but it is probably one of the most important things, because you'll get in those situations where you'll be so wound up, so entangled. Like I remember Kathy Ray coming in one time before, like she had someone who was just depleting all of her time. It's okay to say no to people. You don't have to say yes to everybody. Have your own criteria and stick to that. It's super important.
If your gut says the guy's a creep, he's a creep. So.
Yeah, I agree. For sure.
Quite honestly, if you say this is just, they're not nice people, and I really don't, even if it's $1 million house, I'm telling you, walk away. Because you're gonna end up.
They'll use you and abuse you. And in the end, if you get to the closing table, the money's not worth the pain.
Yeah, not all money is good money. So just, remember that. Make sure you have your standards on the way you want to and expect to be treated, and really hold true to those. Don't say, oh, well, that's okay, or I can look past that. Don't. Really stay true to that.
Rhonda, anything to add there?
Yeah, I mean, I want to reiterate what Fabiola said about the Inspire group and the Pivot Shift Ahead. It's a gold mine. It's a gold mine, and do something that you enjoy doing. So whichever lead generation that you enjoy doing, you can go back to the Pivot Shift or the Inspire, and there are so much material that goes very in depth about how to go about it to achieve your goal, doing something that you actually enjoy. So really, if you haven't looked at it yet, make it a point to check it out, because it's very important. And also, keep it simple. Have a schedule and repeat it every day, doing the stuff that will help you grow your business. Don't like market like in different colors. Green colors for income generating, yellow colors for admin stuff. Put it in color so you know how you're spending your day, and to make sure that you are spending time doing stuff that will that are income generating, and not only doing admin stuff that maybe you enjoy doing, but it's taking time away from the more productive stuff.
That's great. So let's do this. Why don't we take 5 minutes and just take some questions from you guys for this group? So just a few things that have popped up for me. Having coaching, right? Consistent lead generation. I heard a lot of picking up the phone and calling, right? There's a lot of that, and you guys are absolutely crushing the game. Another thing that came up, pivot, shift ahead. You know, that's so just, these are resources for you guys to plug into. But let's take 5 minutes. JC has a question.
Well, I think one thing that you guys all do that didn't come up is you stay very connected and you're very committed to always getting better. So it's not like, okay, I've reached this point and now I'm good, I'm gonna stay like in my lane. Like here, you've created a group, like a mastermind group of top producing agents, and like, I feel like y'all are always trying to get better and grow. And I think that's a big part of this business is like, okay, I'm here now, where do I wanna go? Okay, how do I get there? Okay, I'm here now, where do I wanna go? How do I get there? And I think y'all have all done a really good job of that.
Now, and I just want to say something that hasn't been mentioned, that being like, when you're a new agent, to be in the office and to follow good agents around or ask questions. When I was new, Robin Lemon was here and she was my mentor. And I asked her, and I just saw how she did things every day, and what she was doing, and how her boards were set up, and how her organizational skills were with their folders and all of that. And it was so valuable to learn from her. That I think that if you want to build your business and you're not really doing any business right now, to come into the office and follow a good agent that's here in the office and ask questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree, see what you can do to help them. Yeah, Susan Corley did the same thing for me when I joined this office, and it's like you finish Ignite and you're like, okay,
No
now
way.
what? Now what do I do? I don't know what to do. And yes, thankfully, she kind of took me under her wing and allowed me to help her with open houses and things like that, and just kind of be that mentor, the person that I could ask questions to. Because I will tell you, like, all of us are very, speaking for all of us, we're all open to that. We're happy to help you guys or answer questions, or if you want to come along with us somewhere or just sit down and, have a coffee or something, we're happy to do that.
I love that. And taking ownership of your own development is super important. So any questions from the group here for this amazing group of ladies? Yes.
Not a question, but I think it's a good segue to talk about this book and the one thing and the book club that we're gonna have with it. So for new agents, for top agents, for everybody, if you feel like you're stuck, if you need to restart, I have read it quite a few times, and now we're gonna have a group of old and new agents that are gonna be able to discuss this book, and so stay tuned. We're supposed to do it on Thursday, but we might have to move it, reschedule it. But just keep an eye on it, because we would like for you to join us. It's gonna be after hours, like from 6 to 8.
Awesome. Anybody else have any questions for the group? We covered it all.
Right, some of those things up there.
Yeah.
Shed,
Yeah.
coaching.
That's great. Ladies, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
That's so good.
Raven,
Raven, do we have any other things we need to address?
Yes, let's take a look here real quick. Do we have Onward Home Mortgage in the house?
Franco.
Frank, we love the cat video.
Anyone needs to make a cat video, I have available cat actors.
His twin.
So we have some updates, right after, everyone wants to know about the rates, right after the attack. When we hit the nuclear facility in Iran, the rates dropped a lot the following day and the next couple of days. They did start going up in July, so rates are kind of going creeping back up because of the new jobs report. Don't know if you guys know, but whenever there's good news, stronger than expected jobs report, the rates go up. When the jobs report is lower than expected, rates go back down. So that's basically the update on the reports. There's Right now, I'm sure you guys know, is pushing for the Fed to cut rates, or expected to cut them in the fall. And the update that's happening here is the self-defense class for ladies, that's on July 16th. You can RSVP, so we can put you on the list. And that's basically it. Yeah, if you need anything else from us, we have several programs. I have a client right now who's sending the tax returns. They reported negative income.
Oh, wow.
So we're gonna use bank statement. He told me, he said, I don't wanna pay a lot of taxes. I said, I know, you're reporting negative. So we have available loan programs for people that don't quite show everything on their taxes. So anything you guys need, let us know, we'll help you out.
Awesome. Thank you, Franco. Appreciate that.
And then, I forgot to mention marketing, we have Angela, she's great. If you need any co-marketing and flyers, let us know and she'll make it for you.
Great, great. Thank you.
All right, is Markia in the house? I saw her earlier.
I saw her earlier. She
Any news on coaching, Markia?
Yeah, we actually had an offer contest last week. It actually went really well. So I want to congratulate David, Angela, and Grace. They were the winners. We had 5 closings, so that was really good. So I will be having some open coaching tomorrow, from 10:30 to 11:45. I'll be doing scripts and role plays and live lead generation. Then after that, I'm doing, negotiations for contingencies at 1 o'clock. So see y'all then.
And what was that on the board there, JC? Number 2 that you wrote down?
Oh, coaching.
Come out and check out Coaching with Markia. And if you wanna up your social media game, she's your lady as well, right?
Yeah.
I didn't see Chandler here today, but you know that you have Diane Devers for your printing needs. Okay, I didn't see any of these people here today. And then Carrie Veal, I think we have some important news to talk about, right?
Yes, we do.
Say something.
Yeah. If anybody does not know, Adam Sobel and his wife Andrea are expecting their new baby boy.
Their first baby.
Their first baby, yeah, so Adam's gonna be a dad. The biggest thing I wanna say is literally like within like the past, just over like 24 hours. I just like reached out to people like, hey, we're gonna do something for Adam today. Everybody come, we're gonna do something for Adam today. Like literally, we went out and bought us, I have so much money. Distributed into this man right here because everyone loves him. He's just so wonderful, and I think that was the thing, as soon as we put the word out, everyone's like, oh my god, I love Adam, I wanna help, I wanna do nice things for him. Cause he's just a great person, we're all so excited for him, so, oh yes, thank you, very nice, guys. Thank you.
He is the example of that.
This is that one.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, so I don't know where, how did you come over here? You should be.
It's a car.
Okay, I know, this is like not beautiful because, yeah, that's not.
He doesn't
Yes, I know, and I was gonna say, thankfully, Mary Nelly helped me with some of this, cause I am like, I'm not the greatest like gift wrapping person or. Yeah, there you go.
Wow. Thank you.
We put a lot of pressure on you
Yeah, if
right
you
now.
wanna grab that,
Open
I'll
this?
take this out.
Yeah. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
You could do the big reveal here.
Oh, it's a new dinosaur.
Wow.
Okay, yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Yes. That's all. There is a Snoopy.
Wait, are you having one or like triplets or something?
Right?
Ready for the future.
Right, yeah, that's like something you're gonna
Friends.
keep for a while. So yeah, so there's different things, and you gotta open the card, so you.
Open the what?
Card, that card, yeah.
Oh.
We just.
Sleep sack.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Gotta have that.
that was key for us.
Yeah.
Without.
I barely remember, but yeah. That's-
Diapers
Yes.
and wipes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You gotta open that part too, Adam.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, that one, and then there's another one too. Cause, and by the way, I still have to put more in the other one because like I said, I had so many people like, I still have to add like.
You're also awesome. Thank you so much.
We love you.
Everybody.
I love you all. What, is this not? Oh, I was doing it backwards.
So that's part of it, and then you gotta open the other part too.
Where's the other one?
Uh,
We're totally putting you on the spot.
it's all good.
I just wanted to make
I
it-
like holding everyone up.
There's.
Can't let your wife have all the fun at the.
I know.
Oh. The babies do.
Next Thursday.
Wow, that went fast.
Oh, yay, Target. Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing.
We have a cake waiting for you outside.
Oh, wow.
So.
So we can stick around and celebrate Adam with
Yep.
big lunch and.
Now let's
there's
say,
Yeah, there's
there's
lunch out there.
What?
lunch and
Hey,
cake
you
out
know,
there.
bring you some.
Yes, Taylor.
My client opened a franchise, it's called Jars, it's custard dessert, so there's some out there. Yay, it's gonna be great for open houses, brokers open, stuff like that.
Nice.
I've done some marketing with his card on it, if that's something you're interested in, but it's typically a box of 12 jars. So, yeah, yeah, and, so if you're ever hosting a broker's open and need something, I think it's like, comes out $42 box. But, I mean, 12 jars for broker's open, that's not that bad. So, if you need delivery, just give notice, and he can prepare that for you, but just wanted to make that, because I.
That's a great little,
Awesome.
closing.
Thank you, Taylor.
Yeah, that
Appreciate
sounds awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Each, Atlanta peach mover.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts?
So I had a long thing prepared, but given that we're celebrating Adam, I won't have any closing thoughts other than JC and I are so grateful to serve you guys as your leaders. Raven, thank you for everything you do. And prepare.
Got the survey result.
Oh, yeah.
We're-
More to come on the survey results.
Yeah.
Thank you all for your feedback.
But it
There's some
was
great stuff in
A
there.
lot of glowing reviews for Raven.
Yes,
And-
Raven and Melody, Aaron and Lee, of course.
Take them all under the table.
That's right. That's right.
I
But
got my gift card.
But Raven, let me just say real quick, you do so much to prepare for these meetings, to have it be helpful and, so just thank you
Thank you.
for everything you do, seriously. So let's have lunch, cake and celebrate Adam. Thank you all for being in business with us. We're grateful for all of you. I know. Adam is having first baby. So I know, I'm gonna go all right. That's right.
Thank you.